Welcome to the Bible Quiz and Trivia channel. Today, we dive into the Book of Ezra, exploring the challenges and triumphs of the Israelites as they return from exile to rebuild their temple and re-establish their faith. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video to support our content. After the quiz, share your score in the comments. We love seeing how well you do. Are you ready? Let's get started. Question 1. Who was the king of Persia that allowed the Jews to return to Jerusalem to rebuild the temple? A. Darius. B. Cyrus. C. Xerxes. D. Artaxerxes. Answer: B. Cyrus. Cyrus the Great issued a decree that allowed the Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple, marking the end of the Babylonian captivity. Ezra 1-1-4. Question 2. In which chapter of Ezra is the decree of Cyrus found? A. Chapter 1. B. Chapter 3. C. Chapter 5. D. Chapter 7. Answer: A. Chapter 1. The decree of Cyrus, which allowed the Jewish exiles to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple, is recorded in the first chapter of the Book of Ezra, Ezra 1-1-4. Question 3. What was the primary purpose of Ezra's journey from Babylon to Jerusalem? A. To rebuild the city walls. B. To restore the temple. C. To enforce the law of Moses. D. To gather silver and gold. Answer: C. To enforce the law of Moses. Ezra's primary purpose in going to Jerusalem was to teach the statutes and laws of God to the people of Israel and to enforce the observance of the law of Moses, Ezra 7:10. Question 4. What position did Ezra hold that made him a key leader in the return from exile? A. Governor. B. High priest. C. Scribe. D. Prophet. Answer: C. Scribe. Ezra was a skilled scribe in the law of Moses, which made him a key religious leader in guiding the people in religious matters during their return from exile. Ezra 7-6. Question 5. How many Israelites returned to Jerusalem in the first return under Zerubbabel? A. About 50,000. B. About 42,360. C. About 30,000. D. About 10,000. Answer: B. About 42,360. Approximately 42,360 Israelites returned to Jerusalem in the first return under the leadership of Zerubbabel to rebuild the temple. Ezra 2-64-65. Question 6. Which prophet prophesied alongside Ezra, encouraging the rebuilding of the temple? A. Jeremiah. B. Zechariah. C. Malachi. D. Haggai. Answer: D. Haggai. Haggai, along with Zechariah, prophesied during the time of Ezra and encouraged the people to continue the rebuilding of the temple. Ezra 5-1. Question 7. What significant challenge did the returning exiles face from the surrounding peoples when rebuilding the temple? A. Military attacks. B. Economic sanctions. C. Offers of help rejected. D. Legal opposition. Answer: C. Offers of help rejected. The returning exiles faced opposition from the surrounding peoples who offered to help rebuild the temple, but were rejected because the Jews wanted to keep the task within their community, leading to tension and opposition. Ezra 4-1-3. Question 8. What did the people do when the foundation of the second temple was laid? A. They wept with joy. B. They held a great feast. C. They offered sacrifices. D. They sang praises to God. Answer: D. They sang praises to God. When the foundation of the second temple was laid, the people sang praises to God, thanking him for his faithfulness in restoring them to their land. Ezra 3:10-11. Question 9. How long did it take to complete the temple once the rebuilding started? A. 4 years. B. 20 years. C. 7 years. D. 12 years. Answer: C. 7 years. It took approximately 7 years to complete the temple once the rebuilding effort was initiated, culminating in a grand dedication ceremony. Ezra 6:15. Question 10. What festival did the Israelites celebrate after the temple was completed? A. Passover. B. Pentecost. C. Feast of Tabernacles. D. Purim. Answer: A. Passover. After the temple was completed, the Israelites celebrated Passover, marking the renewal of their covenant relationship with God in their restored homeland. Ezra 6:19-22. Question 11. Who was the king of Persia during Ezra's leadership in Jerusalem? A. Cyrus. B. Darius. C. Xerxes. D. Artaxerxes. Answer: D. Artaxerxes. King Artaxerxes of Persia was the reigning monarch during Ezra's leadership in Jerusalem, and he issued a decree that supported Ezra's mission to teach the laws of God to the Jews. Ezra 7:11-26. Question 12. What was Ezra's reaction to learning about the intermarriages among the Israelites in Jerusalem? A. He was pleased. B. He was indifferent. C. He tore his garments. D. He celebrated. Answer: C. He tore his garments. Ezra was dismayed to learn about the intermarriages among the Israelites and their neighbors, which were contrary to the law. In his grief, he tore his garments as a sign of mourning and repentance. Ezra 9-35. Question 13. What did Ezra proclaim in order to address the issue of intermarriages? A. A festival. B. A fast. C. A public meeting. D. A decree of expulsion. Answer: B. A fast. To address the issue of intermarriages, Ezra proclaimed a fast at the temple in Jerusalem to seek guidance from God on how to proceed with the matter. Ezra 10-6-9. Question 14. Which group of people did Ezra exclude from the assembly during the reading of the law? A. Women and children. B. Non-Jews. C. Elders. D. Priests. Answer: B. Non-Jews. Ezra excluded non-Jews from the assembly when the law was read to ensure that the covenant community of Israel fully understood and recommitted to the law without outside influence. Nehemiah 13-1-3 relates to the time period. Question 15. What specific reforms did Ezra implement upon his return to Jerusalem? A. Military reforms. B. Economic reforms. C. Religious and social reforms. D. Agricultural reforms. Answer: C. Religious and social reforms. Ezra implemented religious and social reforms, including addressing intermarriages and restoring adherence to the law of Moses, to reinforce the identity and religious commitments of the Jewish community. Ezra 10:10-17. Question 16. What was the name of the high priest who returned with Zerubbabel? A. Ezra. B. Joshua. C. Eliashib. D. Zadok. Answer: B. Joshua. Joshua the high priest returned with Zerubbabel to help lead the reconstruction of the temple in Jerusalem. Ezra 3-2. Question 17. How did Ezra describe the new temple compared to Solomon's temple? A. Larger and more glorious. B. Smaller but more spiritually significant. C. Equal in size and splendor. D. Less magnificent. Answer D. Less magnificent. Ezra notes that the older members of the community who had seen the first temple wept when they saw the foundation of the new temple being laid because it was not as magnificent as Solomon's temple. Ezra 3:12. Question 18. What was the significance of the genealogies listed in the Book of Ezra? A. To trace the lineage of David. B. To ensure land rights. C. To establish priestly and Levitical lines. D. To document historical events. Answer C. To establish priestly and Levitical lines. The genealogies in Ezra are significant because they establish the legitimacy of the priestly and Levitical lines among those returning from exile, which was crucial for restoring proper worship practices. Ezra 2. Question 19. Who opposed the rebuilding of the temple and wrote a letter to the king? A. Haman. B. Sanballat. C. Tadnai. D. Nebuchadnezzar. Answer C. Tadnai. Tadnai, the governor of the province beyond the river, wrote to King Darius to question the authority by which the Jews were rebuilding the temple. Ezra 5-3-6. Question 20. How did King Darius respond to the inquiry about the rebuilding of the temple? A. He stopped the work. B. He ordered the work to continue. C. He ignored the request. D. He punished the Jews. Answer B. He ordered the work to continue. King Darius responded by affirming the decree of Cyrus and commanded that the work not only continue, but that it be assisted with funds from the royal treasury. Ezra 6-112. Question 21. What were the contents of the letter sent by Tadnai to King Darius regarding the temple? A. Accusations of rebellion. B. A request for clarification. C. Praise for the Jews' efforts. D. Complaints about noise. Answer B. A request for clarification. Tadnai's letter to King Darius requested clarification on whether a decree had been made by Cyrus to rebuild the temple, expressing concern about the legality of the construction. Ezra 5-7-17. Question 22. How did the Persian kings show favor to Ezra and the returning exiles? A. By providing military support. B. By exempting them from taxes. C. By sending building materials. D. By giving them gold and silver. Answer D. By giving them gold and silver. The Persian kings, particularly King Artaxerxes, showed favor by providing Ezra with gold and silver to buy offerings for the temple and to support the needs of the exiles. Ezra 7:15-16. Question 23. What authorization did Ezra receive from King Artaxerxes? A. To collect taxes. B. To teach the law of God. C. To appoint magistrates and judges. D. To declare new holidays. Answer C. To appoint magistrates and judges. King Artaxerxes authorized Ezra to appoint magistrates and judges who knew the laws of God to administer justice in the province beyond the river. Ezra 7:25. Question 24. Which materials were decreed by King Cyrus to be used in the temple reconstruction? A. Gold and silver. B. Bronze and iron. C. Cedar logs and stones. D. Silk and spices. Answer C. Cedar logs and stones. King Cyrus decreed that the temple should be rebuilt with funded cedar logs from Lebanon and financed by the royal treasury, and the foundation should be laid with heavy stones. Ezra 6-4. Question 25. How did the elders of the Jews respond to the opposition to the temple rebuilding? A. By seeking diplomatic negotiations. B. By appealing to the king's previous decrees. C. By increasing security at the site. D. By halting construction. Answer B. By appealing to the king's previous decrees. The elders of the Jews responded to the opposition by citing the decree of Cyrus that authorized the rebuilding, prompting Tatnai to verify this with King Darius. Ezra 5:11-17. Question 26. What was the outcome of the consultation of the Archas by King Darius regarding the temple? A. The original decree was found. B. No evidence was found. C. The document was inconclusive. D. The records had been destroyed. Answer A. The original decree was found. When King Darius consulted the archives, the original decree issued by King Cyrus was found, confirming the Jews' claims and leading to Darius' support for the continuation of the rebuilding. Ezra 6:1-2. Question 27. How did the people of the land try to discourage and frighten the Jews from building? A. By legal threats. B. By sabotage. C. By bribing officials. D. By forming alliances. Answer C. By bribing officials. The adversaries of Judah and Benjamin bribed officials to work against the rebuilding of the temple and to frustrate the plans of the Jews during the reign of Cyrus. Ezra 4:4-5. Question 28. What did King Artaxerxes command regarding the provision for the temple services? A. To limit the offerings. B. To provide whatever was needed. C. To use only local supplies. D. To decrease the number of priests. Answer B. To provide whatever was needed. King Artaxerxes commanded that whatever was needed for the temple services, including young bulls, rams, lambs, wheat, salt, wine, and oil, should be given daily without fail. Ezra 7:22-23. Question 29. What did Ezra do when he arrived in Jerusalem to ensure the holiness of the people? A. He held a great feast. B. He led a massive baptism. C. He conducted a public reading of the law. D. He organized a series of fasts. Answer C. He conducted a public reading of the law. Upon arriving in Jerusalem, Ezra conducted a public reading of the law to all the people to remind them of their duties and to renew their commitment to God's commandments. Nehemiah 8:1-8. Question 30. Who accompanied Ezra from Babylon to Jerusalem, according to the genealogical record? A. Priests and Levites. B. Craftsmen and singers. C. Soldiers and charioteers. D. Farmers and shepherds. Answer A. Priests and Levites. The genealogical record lists priests, Levites, and other temple servants who accompany Ezra from Babylon to Jerusalem, highlighting the restoration of proper worship and temple service. Ezra 8:15-20.